the camera angle is set proper and all that. All right. Hello, folks. Welcome to Lesson 16 of the Louisville Jedi Academy. I am your host, one of them, Jedi Knight Ben, and Sam and everybody will be out shortly. And till then, just chill back, hang out, and enjoy yourselves. All right. We're live, Sam.
I switched out one of the shotos because the lighting wasn't working on it.
And by the way, I did put us in the right angle and everything so people can see and all that kind of stuff.
Good. All right, well, we'll start.
1 second. Then we have to end right on time because I have an Uber coming, like I said. Okay. Let's get her going here. Okay. Turn this on. And folks, since last time I've gotten a brand new lightsaber.
It's just in the last, what, week or two?
Right.
Brand new.
What is that? Star Wars Theory?
From Star Wars Theory. Shout out to Theory for his awesome lightsabers.
Looks pretty good.
And that's the cheap one.
It works.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
And 9. Yeah.
And we'll start with our Simok diagonal cut from our Shicho position. Step, cut down diagonal, and then other side. Simok.
In theory, if you're out there watching this, man, we endorse you.
Step, cut, back up. Cut down,
Yeah.
back up.
Let's share this.
Cut. Cut down.
One second.
Look at the Kung Fu Santa Christmas ornaments.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
You can't see them, but
They've been
No, they
active
can't,
a
no.
little bit, every
Shuriken.
Sunday.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I saw the stuff,
I gotta. Yeah.
Alright, next we have Makashi,
Makashi.
forward position.
Wait. Don't we have the cut up part first?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I was
gonna Correct.
say.
He's right. Rushicho, the sweep mark. Step and cut upward.
Yeah.
Step and cut upward.
Now, I will say this is a lot easier than the one Thomas is using because he's using the actual Makashi hilt style.
yeah.
Not really. And we got one person in the chat.
Oh, hello.
Is it
Who is he?
you think?
It might be.
Step cut up, going back. Sweep.
And I met them in on one of my Galaxy servers.
Oh.
Sweep mark.
Shout out to who's in the chat?
Her name's Grant.
Who?
It's a friend from they're from
You say their name was Grant?
Gray.
Gray. Oh, shout out to Gray.
Hello.
Alright,
Glad
Makashi
you could-
now.
glad you could join us.
Makashi.
Pointing the saber to about to the center line, middle
Yeah.
part, and we slide forward and
Yeah.
parry.
And also I sent it to my friend
Parry
Rusty
again.
as well.
Step and deep thrust, and then do it again. Slide parry, scoop forward parry, just the front foot steps.
Yep.
Both feet, just the front foot.
And we got a like too.
Parry, thrust, back, parry, and thrust, parry.
Oh, it's my friend Andy.
Oh, shout out to Andy. Glad you could join us.
Hey Andy. Oh, we got 3 people now. Ooh.
Good welcome.
This could be our biggest one yet.
Parry,
Yeah.
thrust, see if they stick around. Parry to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Guys, this is only warm-ups.
Yeah,
Just
this
saying.
is warm-ups.
He said, hey there, Obi-Wan.
I like it. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Using the
Left
other hand.
side.
Left side, parry. Step and thrust.
He's from Denmark.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Parry, just the front foot, deep thrust.
Yeah.
Parry, step,
They're sticking around, Sam.
parry,
Okay, let me see the
step, deep
chat.
thrust. Good.
Yeah.
Back again.
Ah.
Parry in, parry out.
They said focus on training, not viewers.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right. Training, not viewers.
Yeah.
Parry, thrust, thrust, deep thrust. Good.
Yo.
Good. Now we have the orbital. Is that right?
Orbital. Yes.
On the front, we're doing this front cross crush step. And we keep it moving.
Yeah.
It stays in a steady motion, making a figure eight. Coming around behind you, right? So for the body, the torso has to turn to do this.
Yeah.
To do that, I'm going to step forward in front, and as the body turns, I unwind my position now, facing this way. As it
Yeah.
goes up, I'll step forward with the back foot, unwind, the body turns. So the idea is to keep the saber in constant motion and
Yeah.
let your footwork match it, so that you don't, you're not pausing and stopping, but it's moving the entire time.
Yeah.
Orbital, thrust, 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 thrust. Cutting down on our Simok angles, diagonals, right?
Yeah.
Going back,
Do the same thing.
coming back. You can add the other hand.
Yeah.
You want to make it extra Tai Chi. When you twist, this raises up.
Kind of like a push or something.
Right? And then yes, as you step, as you twist, on the other side you push forward. So it comes up. This is doing like an outward blocking grab. Pulls as it comes down, and it steps, and then it twists as it comes back.
Didn't mean to push.
Down and up. Twist, push. Up, grab, pull, and step, twist, push, and pull, and grab.
Yep.
Twist, push, pull, grab, hitting with the wrist, twist and push to the front.
Yep.
Pull back, hit with the wrist, twist to the front, and then we do the other hand.
Left side.
Warming the legs up. Catch, pull as it thrusts.
Yep.
Right? This is coming up. Steps out. This comes back. We twist and push. This comes up. Grab, pull. Get with the wrist behind. Step, twist, push to the front. The slower you go, the harder it is. The more it will work your balance. The more it will work your legs, which is the idea. You want to get as low as you can doing this.
Hold on.
You want to match it with your breathing. In, as your hand comes up.
And
Out as it pushes forward. Pulling in.
Whoops.
Draw back.
Yeah.
And out as it pushes forward. Grab, pull, push, and out. Right, getting as low as you can. Twist, push, out. Good.
Yeah.
Still going back with that side. Grabbing, pull, thrust, comes up, and then it leads the way on the thrust out. Push, so it comes back and grab, pull, hitting up, step, twist, push, grab, twist, lift, and step, twist, push, grab, pull, lift, step,
Yeah.
twist, push. Take some concentration.
I did do it going back across the way. I just did it kind of quick.
Good.
All right.
Kneeling.
All right. Kneeling time.
The Kreneth position is from a kneeling position.
Yeah.
And let me move this out of the way. Yeah, good job. When the right leg is forward, well, actually it'll be down because you'll be cutting down. We're doing a side, downward cut. When we switch to the left knee, you're going to pull the back foot, the left foot up to the right foot, bring them together.
Yeah.
Right? When they practically touch, you'll feel like you're falling forward. That you should be feeling like you're falling forward. You drop your front knee down. It drops down. Now I'm really falling forward. And to catch myself, the back knee steps forward and you swing the leg around to balance. Now the left foot's forward. When the left foot's forward, it'll be up above your head. And you slide up, that drops down. When the right steps forward, you're cutting.
Yeah.
And then we rock forward as it touches down. Step forward, raise it up. You rock forward, touch down, cut down.
Yeah.
Again, step forward, raise it up. And rock forward, cut down. And step forward, raise it up. And rock forward, and cut down.
Oh. And now here comes one everybody picks me on about.
I mean,
3 ways
I
of
can't do
rolling.
it either, but
You still do some of it.
yeah. I like roll on my side and stuff. I
Instead
just
of
can't get in the mental
falling.
space where I can get my feet over my head.
I hear you. I roll to the side too because that's just how I do it.
Yeah.
How to fall.
I guess we're just like too tall and lanky.
I'm 6
Yeah.
foot fucking 6.
Yeah.
Falling down.
Uh,
What you want to do, what we call the talon roll. I'm going to leave that for now. First, and you're making first a vertical, well, you're making a circle.
making
But
a
it's on the
circle.
45. It's on
Yeah,
yeah.
45
That
angle.
side mach line, diagonal here.
Mhm.
Yes.
The bottom hand's the one that's going to touch the ground, but only briefly.
Yeah.
The top hand kind of comes down between your legs,
Yeah.
right? That causes you to ball up. You want your head to go away from your top hand, so onto
Yeah.
your other shoulder, so that you roll on this, not over your head.
Yeah.
And you want to go from the shoulder to the opposite hip, and you'll come up in Kreneth, right?
Yeah.
And the idea is to do it softly and silently.
Yeah.
As it drops down,
You just roll over and then
comes
comes
up.
on your feet.
Right? Back to
No, I just did it on my side
fighting
again.
position.
He just got on his foot.
You do maybe 1 or 2 forward without the saber, and roll right back to them.
And then go right back to the lightsaber.
Right?
Yeah.
Back to the saber. Doing the other side.
Yeah. And then you come back, pick
Right.
it up,
And then we can do it with the saber.
and yeah.
So, same thing with the saber. Now my hand can't go through my legs because I'm cutting my own feet off. So I bring it down to my feet. And before it touches my feet, I need to already be going into the roll. You can hold it either forward or reverse, doesn't matter.
Forward or reverse. Yeah.
Down to your feet. And it comes up. And you bring it up. Right?
Well, I did it sort of half-assed, but yeah, at least I did it.
Nope, on the side again.
Same thing happens to me, man. Could be worse. Could be worse. I could have just walked it like I sometimes
And
do.
back. Right?
Yeah.
Bring it down
I
head to
did-
the side.
Like it doesn't matter how often I see it done. My feet, my bottom half just won't go there.
Just wants to
It just wants
wants
to
to
it
go a
wants to
different
look to
way.
the side and not-
Yeah.
All right, now the hardest way to do this,
Yeah.
and the last way,
is with it on your belt.
yes, you have to have it on your belt. So I'm going to loosen my belt. Loosen my belt.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
It's going to be on the left side.
Man, I gotta
see
something.
Now I'll have to roll, instead of
Yeah.
on this side, I'm going to have to roll on this side, on the opposite
Yeah.
side. So now this,
We have a request, Sam.
what's that?
One of the guys said, "Can we get a kata demonstration at the end?"
Oh yeah, you're going to see several. We're going to
Yeah.
do,
He said,
we're going to do a new one, plus we're going to go back to the first one.
" Can we get a kata demonstration by you at the end of the lesson?"
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we can do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Sure.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Anyway.
All right, so extend. This weapon has to come out a little bit. I have to extend. I have to reach forward when I do this. I'm going to do it sideways so y'all can see. So the weapon comes out forward, and I'm going to roll on this side. So drop down with it extended that way. And I have to do the same thing for backwards too. I have to extend, don't want to pull it all the way out, drop back, sitting back, and go the opposite way. And then push it back into the belt that way. So practice it. We'll do one forward and then one backwards, going back. I extend it, I drop, roll, come up, that's harder to do. Turn, sit back, roll, coming back.
Blaster block with yours or
So that's the hardest way to do the rolls. All right. So with our warm up, let's look at some manipulations. Passing the sword from one hand to the other. Right? Keep in contact with it. Our most basic one. We bring it down in the front. Circle up like you're hitchhiking.
Like a hitchhiker.
Yeah, the hitchhiker.
Yeah.
To the front, we come low. Comes up like you're hitchhiking, and you'll feel it start to come out of your hand, out of your grip. We're going to let it do that. It's going to come free that way. As you do, you reach across in front, and when it comes out of this hand, it'll be turning, and it'll come right into this hand. As it comes up, it turns right into that hand, and it comes back out again. Coming back the same way. Up, like I'm hitchhiking, it'll start to come out of my hand anyway. I reach across the front. And you catch it as it comes out of one hand into the other. Right?
Yeah.
And the faster you do it, actually, the smoother that transition is. You'll pass from one hand to the other seamlessly.
Yeah.
In and out.
Yeah. And eventually we're going to do this on the back side of you, and that's where you really got to be careful.
Well, on the
that's
back,
actually easier.
Yeah.
it's not harder to do, you just have to watch hitting your ankles. When you bring it down, you put yourself in what we call hammer lock. Behind your back. At this point, the other hand just picks it up, pass it on, and comes right back out to the other side. So it goes down, passes it to the other hand, and out again. Pass it from one hand to the other hand, back again. Now, front, then back. Go front, pass, and then back, behind, back to where you started. And then again, pass to the front one way, to the back the other way.
Yeah.
Front, then back. Oh, shoot. Front, then back. I'll move up a little bit. That way
That way we don't clash.
There we go. Right, now going the other way. From this side, I'll do front, and then back behind. Going back the other way. Front this way.
There it goes.
Back behind. Front, left to right, back, right to left. Right?
Yeah.
Now, that sequence, to do something a little fancier with it, rather than changing the hand, it's the same change here, but this is vertical. If you do the same change on a horizontal plane above your head, this way, right? So as it comes up, just like you're hitchhiking, but horizontally above your head, and you reach across, you can catch the sword. And continue that. Now it's a horizontal cut, and as it comes out and you go around behind your back, to keep it horizontal, I'll bend over. Now the
This
blade
is what we call a
stays
helicopter.
horizontal. Yeah, this is what we call our juyo. Our juyo means to circle, right?
Yeah.
Comes around the head again, I catch, drop down as you pass it off again.
Oh my God.
Right? Comes around,
Yeah.
catch, drop,
And
pass.
for tall guys like myself and Thomas, that's a bit of an inconvenience.
Some. This way. And then going the other way, do the same thing, going the other way here. It'll come up, pass to the other hand, come around the back. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as this. Behind the back this way, in the front this way. We're just changing our plane. Our plane now is above the head. Above the head, it releases, comes around, and we've gone to a horizontal plane with the saber. Right? Then we'll do for our next one the what they call the Obi Annie,
Yeah.
or the high-low whip. That's a popular one.
Yeah.
That's taking the saber from, I'm holding my right hand to the left side, back again. And you're creating essentially a fanning shield on one side and then the other, right? So to create that shield, you cut down to the front, cut down, let the tip circle around behind you. That's the first circle. First circle, and you'll see the handle, the pommel here, stays inside my forearm. That's important. Stays inside the forearm, but the blade is on the outside for that first circle, right? I'm not holding it real tight, just between my thumb and my index finger mostly is pinching it so that can fan easily. Now when I go to the second circle, I just do one of those, turn the hand, bring it into your armpit.
Easier than my older ones.
Twist and let it back out again, and then come right back into that first cut. Cut one, circles, comes under the arm, turn, let it out, and right back to center. And then circles, comes under the arm, back to center, and you just keep it moving that way. And really, it's the twist of the hips that throws the sword from one side of your body to the other. And it'll circle.
Yeah.
That's the obi
I didn't have the twist in there, and I overdid it on my arm.
Yeah. Well, this is great for your forearm, great for your wrist.
Yep.
Warm up for all of that.
Really feel it in there.
And then you can roll and switch. And I can go to the other side this way. Cuts
And
down. That's the first circle.
And our old
Comes
buddy,
under.
Jack Troutman used to really have a good whip at that.
Yes, if you can get real comfortable doing both hands,
Yeah.
alternate them. You have one in each hand. It's easier if the swords aren't full length, but
Exactly.
even with a full length sword,
Yeah.
if you get good at it, while this one's cutting forward, the other one's coming under the arm, right? So that's how you alternate it. One of them's doing that first circle, the other one's in the second circle. And so they can be spinning two at once.
And one
And
of
as
our
you turn
viewers said the OVN is a flourish.
Yes. Flourish and a shield. Yes,
Yeah.
both. It can look
Both.
fancy. Flourish really just coming out into another attack, or this can be a shielding motion. You know, if you're dealing with somebody, I guess shooting at you that way. I'm gonna do the both.
Yeah.
There you go. That's not bad.
That's a good start.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It
It is
is
a lot. With the smaller ones, it's easier to do.
Yeah.
Moving through both of them.
Yeah, it is.
And you gotta have your wrists once they're warmed up.
warmed up.
Stretched out.
Yeah.
Good.
Either way,
All right, well, let's look at, we'll go right into,
something.
and this might be what you meant by kata, it may not be. If he wants me to just do like a, you know,
I think you
one
just
of
want
the,
like a typical kata movement. Or
yes, one of the karate, like
One of the
heian
karate type
forms,
things.
or basai, or
I think that's what it was.
one of the
looking
kung
for.
fu talos, I can do one of those too.
Yeah, that's what I think it was actually.
But when we say kata in martial arts,
Yeah.
you can also mean the techniques that we do. This,
I was
step
just,
by step.
yeah, I think he meant something traditional karate.
We'll do both, because this goes back even before those forms do. Even before the heian forms and basai, we had the combat stuff. What we're looking at today is from, in the samurai school, they would call it nito, which just means they have both swords. They have the daisho, they have the long sword, they have the shoto, they have the short sword. And of course the samurai would carry both, right? You have both of them all the time, right? So it wasn't as popular. Most of the time you would use your long sword.
Yeah.
If you went to any official thing that was, you know, you're going to go into the palace or whatever, a lot of the times they would take your long sword. You had to surrender it when you went in. You could only, but you could keep your short one on you. They weren't worried about that. The palace bodyguards to the emperor would a lot of the time only have a short one. They wouldn't have a long one. And the emperor could carry both, right? He could have his long sword on in the palace. Everybody else had to surrender their long sword, but they could keep the short
But
sword.
once they left, they got their sword back.
Right. But most of the time out on the battle, they would use the long one, right?
Yeah.
Short one can be used,
If needed.
but yeah, if needed. But if in this case, you could use both at the same time. It wasn't as common, but
In the case of Baypad, you have that.
traditionally they state that the Musashi and his fame came from using two swords, and that he had just a lot of the stuff that we teach today from Nito is from the Musashi in his school.
All right.
So that's what we're building on, but we are calling it Vapad because that is the Star Wars name for Nito, right?
Yeah.
And we have a Star Wars name for the single sword, the single short sword, for when what we call Iaido, when you're drawing the sword out. We have a Star Wars system for that. There's 10 of them total for all of the different things you would learn in the samurai schools.
We have here.
We have, broken down into the different Jedi forms.
Yeah.
Right? So, Vapad is the one we're looking at with one long and one short.
Yes.
So in this case, first we look at what we call the postures of Vapad. There's 9 of them, 9 postures. And all of the kata utilize the posture. That's really what they're focusing on. How do you use the posture in a combat situation? So the first one that we have is called Shicho. And when you just have a single saber, that's the one that looks like this. It's vertical, it's kind of by your ear, right?
Yeah.
So when we have 2, the back one is by your ear, the front one is horizontally at about your waist height. Your feet are apart, a little more than shoulder width, knees bent, ready for combat, but not so low that you can't move quick. You want to be high enough that you can move fast with your hands.
Yeah.
So this is our first position here, or Shicho. Right?
Yeah.
This traditionally would be the Shicho with the left side forward, right side back, but we can switch them. When we switch them, we don't change hands. We switch feet. Now the daisho, the long one will be in front. The short one will come up this way. This is still Shicho, but we call this moon Shicho. It's the left side. It's the alternate side of the classic. This would be the classic or the normal Shicho, or the alternate is the moon side, right? Officially, the classic side is always called the sun, but that's redundant to say sun Shicho. You say Shicho, you assume sun, right? If we say moon, that's when we're specifying it's the alternate side, right?
Yeah.
And all of the Vapad kata have variation to where you learn it on the sun side, but you also have to practice the variation of it on the moon side, right? So it makes you do both in all of the steps and all of the techniques. So this is our first position, and this is where our first what we call a gem in this case comes from, this position, right? The second one is Makashi, and when you're in Vapad Makashi, again, we'll start with the right foot forward this time, and just like the single saber points straight to the heart here, the other one points out in front as well. So they're both kind of pointing toward the center this way, and this is like saying, this is my space. You are commanding this space.
So
it's
like
long range.
So like what Sage Ventress does, she has the 2 lightsabers and she always like pointing them forward.
Yeah, pointing, and she has that style, the pistol grip style, the Makashi
style.
saber
Yeah, I think
style.
Dooku gave them to her.
Yeah, because he's
He usually does that too.
because he's Makashi. So yes, it's pointing forward at the heart like this. The moon side, what's interesting here is that in the sun side, your long one, your daisho, is always extended out, and then behind that is the shoto. But when we switch, now they come level. Both points should be level out in front for Makashi when you do the moon side, right? And that's true of several of them that will do that. When we switch sides and we lead with the shoto side, and this is back, you're extending it to where they're both level to the front, right? It's Makashi. We also have Soresu. Soresu is the front one points here towards the eyes. It comes up at an angle this way. It's bent. It's going like from your belt to their eyes this way. That's when you have the single saber. That's the way it looks. Right? Soresu. When we have 2 of them, the other one comes up above the head here, right? And in this instance, what you would do if you're in the Soresu position is we would, in this case, the base one is sideways, right? Now when we switch and we do the moon version of it, this one points to the eyes. This one doesn't go sideways. It changes. You point the pommel towards their eyes and you hold it behind your head on a vertical line. And the idea in the moon one is that they should be able to tell from that angle how long your die show is. Because of the angle they're looking at in that position. I should be able to confuse the guy. How close am I? Am I close enough to cut you yet? You don't know with the sword at this angle, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this way, you can tell if I can reach you with this one. You can kind of judge with your eyes. This is harder to judge with your eyes, and that's the idea.
And this is the ideal position you want to start.
Well, and we'll come back to almost all of the gems when they end, come to the Soresu position. That's how they finish.
This.
You end in this position or this position. Right?
So one of the two. Yeah.
Then we have Ataru. Ataru, again, with the long side forward, it comes around behind you. Now you're kind of hiding again the length of it, and you cross the front one in front. And pretend as though almost that they're connected at the pommels. That they're like
Saber staff?
Yeah, like a saber staff. Right?
Judo saber.
I don't exactly do that, put them together like that, but that's the idea is one's pointing toward the floor, the other one's the shorter one's pointing toward the eyes.
Yeah.
And this is our Ataru position.
And I should briefly mention we did do some Judo stuff, but that
We'll come around to it.
Yeah.
Right? We just move from one to the next, we finish it, and then come to the next one.
Come to the next form.
Now when we switch sides, now the Shoto points to the floor, and the long one, the Daisho, points towards their eyes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's the moon Ataru position.
Yeah.
Using both sides. Right? And then we have Shien.
Yeah.
Shien points down, right? Pointing down to the ground this way, where they're one leg's forward here, and they both point inward. No, they both point outward, sorry. Shien, they both point outward this way. And what you're doing there, in Shien, normally, it would point to the floor, and you would lean in a little bit. What you're doing is baiting them. You're trying to get them to attack your head. We're still doing that here, but instead of being down to the front, they're out to the corners, kind of out to the corners in the front this way. Right?
And you're trying
then
to
the moon, again, is just a switch of the feet. It just which foot's forward in this case. Is it the one that is the short sword? Or the sun is the one that's the long sword. It assumes that one will be forward.
Yeah.
In fact, we often will go from our Soresu position here right into the Shien position.
Yeah.
We have Dejimso. Dejimso, like Shien, is kind of in this forward position, front knee bent, back leg straight. They're up above and crossed, like this. This is an aggressive position. All of this space is open for them to attack. Again, you're baiting them, but you're baiting them lower this time, whereas this one baits the high line for the head. This one more baits them to come under my arms. Yeah, you want them to attack low, but this is also, from this position, powerful attack, right? You're loaded for a big, heavy strike.
Yeah.
Again, just like Shien, switching feet, and then when I switch feet, once again, those tips, one won't be out in front of the other now. They'll be level, right, as they're up above the head. And that's the posture there for our Dejimso, right? We have this Jarkai. Jarkai.
It was like this, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of them's pointing forward.
The other is pointing next to it.
Pointing out that way.
I think. I remember one of them is like that. Oh yeah, one is
Like this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's like our Soresu, but the tip points, it leads with the left side, as opposed to Soresu always leads with the right.
Yeah.
This is the sun, right?
The sun version.
And the moon version switches.
Yeah.
But the high tip is pointing. Both tips are pointing forward for Jarkai.
Yeah.
And then we have Juyo. Juyo, they cross, right?
Yeah.
They cross here. They're not touching.
No.
One's out in front of the other one's back, but they crisscross here, right about where your chin or neck would be.
Yeah.
That's our Juyo position, right? Again, right foot forward for our base, our normal, and then the moon is when it switches. Right? The Shoto is forward.
The Shoto is forward now.
And I think that's it. That should be all 9.
That should be all the ones.
That's all the postures when you have 2, right? So we're going to go back to that first one.
The first version.
That first one we did.
The Shicho.
Right? The Shicho. And it's in the name too. It's in the name of the gym.
Yep.
From this position, we're going to look at a high block or a cha corte. So this will say in the, and this is all online too. You can go to LouisvilleJedi.com.
Yeah.
And you can see all the systems laid out there.
And we'll have that linked in the description later.
Yeah, LouisvilleJedi.com, and
we have a Facebook and all those
it
other
describes the steps, right? You don't, we don't have pictures, but it tells you, from
tells
these
you what
steps. So
to
if you
do.
know the terminology, you can figure out exactly
And
all
later
of
we'll
those.
find a way to put these demos on there.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll figure that out, yeah.
We're not going to when there's only 3 people in the chat. When
Oh.
there's 300 in the chat, we'll start
We'll
putting
consider
videos
that.
and pictures.
Tell your
right?
friends.
Yeah, and when we
Yeah.
have 30 people in here as opposed to 3, then we'll talk about, videos and all that.
On
All
the
right.
website.
So from this Shicho position here, it's the
Yeah.
Shicho Cha Corte, right?
Yes.
Which is essentially this Shicho position, and you're doing a high block, right?
Yeah.
Cha Corte. The attacker isn't using vape pad. They're using just the long saber, right?
The
They're going
long
to be
sword,
in
yeah.
what we call the gem so position. They're stepping and they're doing the side. They're trying to cut you right in
Yeah.
the middle of the head, right? And again, all of the gems in vape pad have 4 variations. They have the sun side and the moon side, and they have whether the guy attacks with this downward cut or whether he steps in with a thrust.
And he's going towards your stomach.
But not really much changes based on, it does whether you're right or left forward, but whether they thrust or whether they attack down. We'll practice it 4 times that way. All 4 of them are that de gem. In this case, Shicho Cha Corte. So you're in this position here. First one is, this comes up. It's going to block high to his attack. Right, comes up. From here, I'm going to step in. You blocked his saber from hitting you in the head with the short, the shoto. We're going to step in and we're cutting him here. This is going across the neck, downward diagonal.
Yeah.
Then from here, I step forward and cut the other side. You do a figure 8, cutting with one and the other. Take 1 step back, and we go to Suresu.
That's all.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. So from here, short one comes up, blocks his attack. You step in, this cuts him across the neck this way. Step again, the short one cuts here. Then you step back, and this comes up in front. Right? And it doesn't matter whether they do the cut or they do the stab. Both are the same. Right? So we'll go side to side, and I'll let both these guys do it with me. I'll be the attacker now. So, you're sideways. Yeah, there you go, Ben. That's horizontal. That's vertical. I'm here. When I go to attack, he blocks high. He steps in while my saber's high. Yeah, and he's cutting me across the torso here diagonally. Then he steps again and cuts with the other one. Then you step back and you point the long one at me. Yep, the other one you're holding. There it is. All right, good. Try again.
Okay.
So you're vertical with your back, horizontal with the front. There you are, like that. I'm like this, right? And then when I go to cut, you stop me, you step and cut. Right across here.
Right across the
Yeah, then that one cuts this side. Then you step back and point it right at my eyes. There you go, and that other one sideways.
Okay.
Good, all right? Try it with the thrust. Same thing, same thing. He doesn't change anything, but now my attack, instead of being here, is I could come from here, I could come from here, Suresu, right? I could come from this position. These are all stances that we have in the others. But I step in and thrust, and you block the same way. You step and cut. The other side cuts. Yeah, you're going to come down instead of from underneath now. You come down the other side that way. Good. So again, if I'm here, good. You raise it and block high. You step, you cut across. The other one slides down and cuts. You step back, and you're pointing the long one.
Keep your eye on your opponent.
There you go.
Yeah.
Point that long one at me. You ready to do it, Thomas?
Yep.
Go ahead,
Same
Thomas.
thing?
Oh, let me shut mine off.
Good. So you got the front one horizontal, the short one's horizontal, the back one's vertical. Like this. Yes. And I'm here. As I go to cut, you raise it. And then you step back and point the long one at me. Yes. And that one.
Makashi.
From the Makashi position, here, right? The right side's forward, so the long one extends more.
Remember that time we did an episode on St. Patrick's Day and we all used green lightsabers?
We all used, yeah, that was awesome.
That was fun.
That was awesome. We all used green lightsabers. All right, so from the Makashi position this time. Again, the attacker.
What form were we even practicing that day?
Open for him to attack. You can even bait a little bit by separating them more than you should. They should almost come to like a tight point, but when you want to bait them, you open it up a little bit. You pretend like you're not really paying attention. I just opened my center line up for his attack, and that's when he'll take it, right?
Yeah.
So we're baiting his attack this way. Now what's going to happen is, again, this is from Makashi. This is also called Cha Corte. But instead of Shicho Cha Corte, this is Makashi Cha Corte because it starts here. It's going to come up. You're going to turn your hand up, right? In this position like you're holding a shield and almost looking through your eyes this way. That is our Corte. That is our block position. At the same time, this is all one step. While you do this, you step with your back foot, and this becomes a thrust to the face. Boom. Now, this is only really 2 steps because that's all step 1. Step 2, we step back with the same foot that we just stepped forward with, step right back where you were, and this turns and does a straight down cut, and you come right back to Suresu. Okay. It's actually less steps, but there's more going on that first step. So you're here,
and then you
open your hands a little bit, making him want to cut, and then when he does, this is turning. It's turning this way to cover the face, and at the same time, this is thrusting. Right to his face and throat. Then when you step back, this cuts straight down, and then it comes back up to Suresu. Good, right? Now when we switch, we do the moon version, right? The only thing that changes now is the footwork because of the lengths of the sword, right? From this position here, now they're tip to tip, right? Because it's the moon side. I open it up a little bit. Center line's exposed, so he'll attack. I'm turning this one now. The short one's coming up. But with the tip pointing out, I'm going to same time step with the long saber cutting. Right? Deep, long range. Now, because this is the shorter one that's going to do the second move, instead of stepping back, if I needed this long one to reach him, then this won't cut him if I step back. Right? If I needed the long one to reach him, I have to advance again to cut down. And then you step back into Suresu. Right? Take a second step back and it'll put you back in your Moon Makashi position. So Moon Makashi here, that's where the gem starts. Hands open up a little bit, he wants to cut. This is coming up and at the same time this is thrusting. Take a second step forward, this cuts straight down here. And as you step back, that space, that saber that space is taken by the long one as you step back. That's the way that works. Right? So we'll try that again. I'll give you all the attack. That's the second one. Now I've done 2 of them.
What?
My Uber might be here.
We're not done yet. Our time's not up.
I guess I'll do the last one.
All right, so point it at my.
Finish this.
So your right side's forward. You're pointing it at my chest. This one's they're both straight. Makashi. Right. You want to be sideways. There you go. Right. You're pointing it right at my chest here, and I raise it up. So you let your hands, separate. Now I want to attack. And when I do, you're going to turn that one, to block it. At the same time you step, and that doesn't cut, it thrusts. It's a shiak. It's a thrust. Then when you step back, and now cut me with that one, straight down. Right? And then from there, just come right back up to Suresu. You finish in Suresu. Because you're already there. Right? And then step back.
Into Makashi.
Well, actually, you don't even have to step. You're already there for Makashi, right? Hands separate a little as they go to cut. And same time, step forward. thrust through the face.
Hey.
Step back, cut down. No, step back, that one cut down. Right, ooh, there you go. And then back to Suresu. Right? Now if they do the thrust, same thing. So start Makashi, they go to thrust, you're turning that. So it's still turning this way, still turning the same way, yeah, blocks that way, and you thrust the same time. And you step back, and you cut down, straight down. Good. Right. Now switch your feet. Let's do one from the moon position.
Okay.
So starting in Makashi, same way. Your hands separate.
Yeah.
Now this time it'll be that one that does the high block, turning as it. Yep, and you step and thrust with the other one. Same time. Yeah, right through the face. Now you can't step if this has got me. That one won't reach. Stepping back, you have to step forward again. Nope, towards me, and then cut me with the red one. Straight down. Right down the middle. Then
Left
step
foot
back.
Oh,
Right down the middle. As a side. Then step back. Suresu.
Eye on
Switch.
the opponent.
You want the long one low. There you go. Long one low. So, all right, let's let Thomas do it.
all right. Then we'll have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Right,
I'll do it for him at the end.
Yep.
Just to do it. All right, so you start good. There it is, right? And yeah, so if you didn't want me to attack, yes. And when you open it up, you're baiting, and I want to go. So it's there and thrust, good. Then step back and straight down, and then right back to Suresu. Yes, perfect. Now back to Makashi. Here again, as he attacks, that comes up, and you're thrusting, and you step back, cut him down the middle, and then right back. Good. And if they thrust, same thing. If they thrust, comes up, thrusts in, step back, cuts down. Good. Now, if you switch feet and go to the moon version of that, yeah, so the tips are closer together. And then when you want them to cut, you separate it a little bit, and that one blocks, and you, same time, and you, yes! You step in on them this time. Good. Again, from here. Good. As he cuts, that blocks, and you thrust, and you advance again. Boom! With the kill shot, right? Straight down with it, and then you're right back to it again.
Yeah, that one feels better because this one's the short one's usually known as like a parrying sword. Yep.
You like to use
So
that?
like you use it to block, and then the other one's for attacking.
Yeah, for the attack on that. All right, good. We'll do our close, and then I'll do one of the
random
forms.
form.
Yeah, I'll probably do like I don't know, Bossai. That's a classic one.
All right.
All right. So we finished the way we started. Step 1. Step 2. 3. Step back 4. 5, you extend the hand, point it to the floor. 6, we call this our wisdom pose. 7, this is a defensive posture. 8, we lean forward, covering the eyes, touch the floor. 9, it circles, or side lock. Good. All right, so Bossai. Bossai die.
Do you need another person for this, or?
No, this is a black belt form, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bossai.
Just because somebody asked.
Bossai.
Bossai die starts here, comes up, outward.
Hey, Mary.
We're almost back. Hey!
Yeah. Come back around to here. Oh, snap. Okay. All right.
Back.